What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, 2 Phones for Free, back again with another informative video. I don't know if it's just me or did anyone else get the memo. I didn't get the memo, but let's just put this into perspective. And I know at the end of the video, you can say what you want to say. You can drop those comments in the comment section below. But we have got to talk about this and how carriers getting away with this, or I mean, how are the OEMs allowing this for the carriers to get away with this, and retail stores and third-party cell phone carrier companies to get away with this all at the same time. And I mean, how are these companies profiting off of this? But let's just take it back a step. Remember when we used to brag about, and this is what this video is about, the 64GB phones and the 128GB phones. And some of us are still using some. I'm still using some that's 128. I got a couple of them in my collection that's 64 gig only, or they still got the SD card expansion, but you got to figure out what's compatible with the SD card and what's not. Like, how many can you put that whole app on there versus are you just using it, for your photos, for your music and movies, and then you go from there. And games. And you go from there. But no, you're saying the price is right. We're looking at phones that's 64 gigabytes. I mean, basically for free. The phone is basically for free. I mean, like, if you're a smart person and you take surveys and you can download survey apps, you can actually get this phone with a survey by taking some surveys. These phones that I'm talking about right now on Walmart.com, and you probably could get it off of Target. Shout out to my man Santana down there in Florida. But yeah, he been telling me about Boost Mobile cards, and you ain't gotta pay taxes and fees. You get a Boost Mobile refill card. You just pay the 50 or 60 or whatever, and no taxes, no fees. That's what we about too also. But that's besides the point. My point is right now, remember how we used to brag about having 64 gigs on our phone, or even the 128 gigs on our phone. Now these phones are dirt cheap, people. So it's time to bring in the 256. The 256 gigabyte phones should have been mainstream by now. Seriously, every phone should be 256 now. And to be honest, the 64 gigabytes and 128 should be for free, in my opinion. It should be. It should be, but it depends on the consumer. It depends on the person that's buying that person's phone, or signing up to a contract, or they're trying to get the for free prepaid phone with the $30 plan or $40 plan. It depends on these people. This right here, what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, 2 phones for free. I am by the people and for the people. This is what I'm talking about. This right here, this is for the people. Now you guys know. Now you see the difference. The flagshippers. Yeah, I'm calling y'all out. Y'all was the ones bragging about, you ain't got 64 gigs on your phone. You ain't a flagship person. You ain't a high-end tech dude. You ain't a high-end tech reviewer. Or when the 128 came, normal. Oh, you ain't got 128 on your phone. You ain't high-tech. You ain't got this. You ain't got that. But y'all ain't talking about people with 256. Y'all not talking. It's not that many phones out there with 256 that you could really go out there and buy outright for under a little to nothing. No, it's the 128s. It's really the 128s. That is the bare bone minimum now, at least for Android. I don't know about iOS. Y'all iPhone boys, y'all bark. Y'all can at each other. Y'all go back and forth about that. But I'm talking to my Android consumers. We have a lot to choose from now versus back then. And I blame some of the content creators. I do. I blame some of them for pushing that narrative like that. But now look at the narrative. Yeah, the 64 and 128 is for free, practically. So, it just blew my mind today. That's where we coming to now. Like I said, the 256GB phones, and I did have one. I had the S23 Ultra. I had that one. That was my first 256GB phone, and I still didn't fill it up. Even with an SD card or not, I still didn't fill it up. I had the cloud, so I mean that might have took away from me, and I still got the cloud. That still might take away from how I use my devices. Yeah, but they'll do anything for the cloud. Your iSheet boys, you do anything for the cloud. And you know what? I'm starting to think about the Pixel boys too. I'm starting to think they pulling that same stunt as the iSheet. Come on, Pixel boys. I got a Pixel too. I'm trying to work that desktop. I'm trying to work it, y'all. I'm trying to work that Android desktop for y'all. I'm trying to get it up and running so I can make another video. That was a bad video, I get it, but I still got some views on it. But it was just like the first look. So basically, I'ma just change it and call it the first look, first impression. You know, it is what it is. I couldn't do nothing because I had a keyboard and mouse. But that's besides the point. That's coming soon. But let's get back to this. The normal is not 64 and 128 anymore, ladies and gentlemen. These are poor man phones. All right, these are what they call Section 8 phones now. The 64 and 128GB phones are now the Section 8 phones. Ladies and gentlemen, if you own a 64GB phone or 128GB phone, you own Section 8. That's what they gonna say. I'm in my Stephen A. Smith mode. That's what they gonna say. They gonna say you own Section 8 if you only got 64GB on your phone and 128 or 128. Now you got 256. That's middle class. 256 is middle class. Okay, you got a 256GB phone. You middle class. But you know the uppity-uppities. They got the 512s and the terabytes. The uppity-uppities. Two phones gonna cook. It's the truth. At Walmart, it's showing you guys these devices are freaking affordable now. There's no excuses. No freaking excuses, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they are prepaid. Yes, they're stuck to a carrier. Yes, you still got to dish out an extra $50 a month or something like that. But after you do your first month, downgrade to the lowest plan. You have to learn how to talk to these people. Talk to them like, hey, I was just trying to get the phone for free. I don't want to pay no $56 a month. What's the lowest phone plan you got? And put me on that plan. Learn how to negotiate with these customer care service people, man. Trust me, I was that dude. You had to negotiate with me. Trust me. I was on the other side of the phone once. Maybe more than once. Okay, but this is crazy work. I'm telling you, Android is crazy work. Especially if you got a Samsung, Motorola. I would have said the Pixel. At the time when they was pushing out the Pixel 6a for almost, less than $200 or even for free. They gotta bring that back. Somehow Google gotta make a deal with Straight Talk, put the Pixel 8A's out for like $179 now, or something like that, or make a deal with Cricket. Google, you gotta make a deal with Cricket, Boost, and Straight Talk, and even Metro. Maybe they got a deal with Metro. Santana, if you watch this video, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, please, brother. I need your assistance. Okay, because you're the only one that knows about this situation. But what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, the 64GB phones and the 128GB phones now, I'm just being honest with y'all. Food stamp phones for real now. They're Section 8 phones. They are public housing phones, or whatever you call it. That's it, man. If you ain't got no 256 and up, you gonna get clowned. You gonna get trashed up. You gonna get trashed by anybody. And I'm waiting on them. I'm waiting on them to come in my comment section and start talking some stuff. I'm waiting on these people. And y'all know who y'all are. But I'm saying right here, right now, the Razr. Look, this is a middle class phone. The Razr is a middle class phone. Why I say that? Because if you read, hey, I don't know why it won't let me zoom in. Okay, guess I gotta do that. It's got 256 gigs of onboard storage. Okay, 256 gigs of onboard storage. That's the middle class. All right, and then like I said, 512 to a terabyte on your phone, you uppity up. All right, you got all the storage in the world for a phone. You do everything on your phone. You compute on your phone. Your phone is a tablet. Your phone is your gaming system. You use the cloud on your phone. You music stream. You make movies on your phone, if you know what I mean. You live stream on your phone. You do all the social medias, all the Snapchats, all the Instagrams, all the TikToks. You do that on your phone. Y'all just give me y'all thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree that the 64 and 128 gigabyte phones are now really, truly poor man phones now? Let that be it. This is a great conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all listening, tuning in. 2 phones for free. Please subscribe for more content like this. And for YouTube, this is educational purposes only. The phones have gotten more affordable now. There is no excuse. There is no excuse anymore. Seriously, you can really have 2 phones for free. Peace.